We are going to take this small problem. We have to solve the quadratic equation. Solve the quadratic equation. 3x squared minus 10x plus 5 equal to 0 by factorization. For us to answer this, first thing we need to start by finding two numbers such that when we add the two numbers, our answer is equal to -10, and when we multiply the two numbers, our answer is equal to 3 times 5, which is equal to 15. So thinking of such numbers, in such a case, you will notice that getting those numbers will be impossible, which simply means that the quadratic equation 3x squared minus 10x plus 5 equal to 0 cannot be solved by the method of factorization. We are going to take note of this. Not all quadratic equations can be solved by making use of the method of factorization. We note this down. Note not all quadratic equations can be solved by factorization method. So for this reason, we are going to treat other methods of solving quadratic equations that we can apply in solving this case. We are going now to take 2 by completing the squares. This is a method of solving quadratic equations. Write this down. Any quadratic equation, ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0, can be solved by completing the squares. The squares method as follows. First, we are going to write down this quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. For us to solve this quadratic equation by completing the squares, the first step, we are going to send the constant term, that is a term which is independent of the variable x, to the right hand side. This will give us ax squared plus bx is equal to, becomes -c. Next step, we are going to make the equation of x squared, which is a here, we are going to make it to be 1 by dividing all through the quadratic equation by e. This will give us ax squared, we divide by e, plus bx, we divide by e, is equal to -c divided by e. At this first term, you will see that e will strike off with e. We will be left with x squared plus b over ex is equal to -c over e. This will give us x squared plus b over e x is equal to negative c over e. Then the next step, we are going to add half the coefficient of x, all that squared, at the left hand side and at the right hand side. You will see that the coefficient of x is simply b over e. b over e, if we take a half of it, is simply equal to b over 2e. Next, we have to square it, and this will give us b over 2e squared. We are going to add this at the left hand side and at the right hand side. That is, we are going to obtain x squared plus b over e x plus, we add this, b over 2e squared is equal to b over 2e squared minus c over e. The reason why we are adding b over 2e, all this squared, at the left hand side and at the right hand side is simply because we want to obtain a perfect square at the left hand side. You will see that this will give us x plus b over 2e, all this squared. We can do the expansion of this. We are going to obtain what we have at the left hand side here. So this will simply be equal to x plus b over 2e times x plus b over 2e. And this will simply be equal to x times x gives us x squared plus x times b over 2e gives us b over 2e x plus b over 2e times x gives us b over 2e x plus b over 2e times b over 2e gives us b over 2e squared, all this squared. And this will simply be equal to x squared plus, here we have b over 2ax plus b over 2ax. Here you see that they have the same denominators, which is 2a. Then we are going to add the numerators. Bx plus bx simply gives us 2bx plus b on 2a, all this squared. This will simply be equal to x squared plus, you see that 2 will cancel 2. We're left with b over a x plus b on 2a, all this squared, which is the same thing we have at the left hand side here. So it simply means the factorization of this, of x squared plus b over ax plus b over 2a all that squared, is simply x plus b over 2a all that squared. We are going to replace it here. This will give us x plus b over 2a all this squared is equal to, here we are going to expand things. We know if we have b over e, all this squared is simply equal to b squared over e squared. We are going to apply it here. This will give us b squared all over 2 squared gives us 4 e squared minus c all over e. This will give us x plus b on 2a, all this squared is equal to, here the LCM of the denominators is simply 4e squared. It's 4e squared because in e squared we already have e. 4e squared divided by 4e squared gives us 1. 1 times b squared gives b squared minus 4e squared divided by e gives us 4e. You can see it. This 4e. 4a times c will give us 4ac. The next step, we need to make x the surgery of formula. So we are going to take square root on both sides. By taking square root on both sides, we are going to obtain the square root of x plus b on 2a, all this squared, is equal to the square root of b squared minus 4ac on 4a squared, like this. Next, we know that this and this, we know if you take the square root of x squared, it is simply equal to the magnitude of x. And we know the magnitude of x is simply equal to plus or minus x. So here, this will simply give us x plus b on 2a. This will disappear. It will simply be equal to plus or minus. We are going to break this as the square root of the numerator b squared minus 4ac over the square root of the denominator, which is 4a squared. This will give us x plus b over 2a is equal to plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over, if you take the square root of 4a squared, you know the square root of 4 is 2. Here, the square root of a squared will simply be a. So this will simply give us, we are going to make x the surgery of formula. X will be equal to negative b on 2a plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac on 2a. So this will be equal to, you see that these two terms, they have a common denominator, which is 2a. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Since we cannot be working with addition and subtraction at the same time, it simply means our x will be equal to negative b plus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a, or you can see we work with addition here, or x is equal to negative b minus, in this case now we take minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, and we divide by 2a. So these are the solutions. Now we take down examples. It goes, solve the following. Solve the following quadratic equations. Solve the following quadratic equations by completing the squares method. The first one for E, we have x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. For B, we have 4x squared minus 12x plus 9 is equal to 0. For C, we have 18 x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. D, we have 4x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Take down solution. We take the first question, E, we have x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Solving this question, it is very easy. You'll see that the equation of x squared is 1. So the first step, we are going to send negative 3 to the right hand side, which becomes positive 3. Next step, we are going to add half the equation of x, all that squared, at the left hand side and at the right hand side. You can see the coefficient of x is negative 2. If we take a half of negative 2, it is simply equal to negative 1. So we are going to add negative 1 squared at the left hand side, which gives us x squared minus 2x plus negative 1 squared is equal to 3 plus negative 1 squared. We know this is simply a perfect square, and the factorization is x minus 1. Take x here plus what we have here in the bracket. You know, if you take positive, negative, it is negative, equal to negative. So that's why we have x minus 1. We are going to put them in a bracket as such, then we square it. This will be equal to 3 plus negative 1 squared gives us 1. If you expand what we have in this bracket, you obtain x squared minus 2x plus negative 1 squared. This will give us x minus 1, all this squared is equal to 4. Next step, we are going to take square roots on both sides. Square root of x minus 1 squared is equal to the square root of 4. This will give us x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus, the square root of 4 is 2. This will give us x to be equal to, we are going to transfer negative 1 to the right hand side, which becomes positive 1. 1 plus or minus 2. You cannot be working with positive and negative at the same time. Either x is equal to 1 plus 2 or x is equal to 1 minus 2. So this will give us x to be equal to 3 or x is equal to 1 minus 2 gives us negative 1. We go now to question B. We have 4 x squared minus 12 x plus 9 is equal to 0. First step, we are going to send the constant to the right. This will give us 4x squared minus 12x to be equal to negative 9. Next step, we are going to divide both sides by equation of x squared, which is 4, equal to negative 9 divided by 4. 4 divided by 4 gives 1, so this will give us x squared minus 12 divided by 4 gives us 3x equal to negative 9 over 4. Next step, we are going to add half the equation of x, all that squared, and the equation of x is negative 3 at the left hand side and at the right hand side. This will give us x squared minus 3x plus negative 3 over 2 is half the equation of x. We square it is equal to negative 3 over 2. We square it minus 9 over 4. This is a perfect square, and the factorization of this is simply x plus negative 3 over 2, all that squared, which is simply the same as x minus 3 over 2, all this squared, which is equal to, at the right hand side, we know negative 3 squared gives us 9 all over 2 squared gives us 4 minus 9 all over 4. This will give us x minus 3 over 2 squared is equal to 9 over 4 minus 9 over 4 gives us 0. Next, we are going to take square root on both sides. The square root of x minus 3 over 2, all this squared will simply be equal to the square root of 0. This will give us x minus 3 over 2 to be equal to 0. We know 0 is a neutral number, so if you take plus or minus 0, it remains 0. And this will give us x to be equal to 3 over 2 plus 0, which is simply equal to 3 over 2. And in this particular question, we are going to say the quadratic equation has two equal roots. That means we have x to be equal to 3 over 2 or x to be equal to 3 over 2, which is still the same. It means the roots are repeated. We go now to question C. In question C, we have 18x squared minus 4x is equal to 0. In this case, you'll discover that the constant term C is already 0. So what we are going to do is we are going to divide both sides by 18. So that we make the equation of x squared to be 1 minus 4x divided by 18 is equal to 0 divided by 18. 18 will strike off 18. We'll be left with x squared minus, we know 2 will go into 4, 2 times 2 will go into 18, 9 times. This will give us 2 over 9x is equal to 0. Next step, we are going to add half the equation of x, all that squared, at the left hand side and at the right hand side. You'll see that the equation of x here is simply negative 2 over 9. If we take a half of negative 2 over 9, is simply equal to negative 2 will strike off to negative 1 over 9. So we are going to add negative 1 over 9, all that squared at the left hand side and at the right hand side. This will give us x squared minus 2 over 9x plus negative 1 over 9, you square it, is equal to negative 1 over 9 squared plus 0. We know this is a perfect square, and the factorization of it is simply you take x plus what you have in brackets here, then you square it, x minus 1 over 9, because there's a negative sign here. All this squared will be equal to negative 1 squared gives us 1 over 9 squared gives us 81. So 1 over 81 plus 0 remains 1 over 81. Then the next step, we are going to take square root at the left hand side and at the right hand side. This will give us the square root of x minus 1 over 9 squared is equal to the square root of 1 over 81. This will simply give us x minus 1 over 9 is equal to plus or minus, you know, the square root of 1 over 81 is simply equal to the square root of 1 over the square root of 81, which is simply equal to the square root of 1 is 1 and the square root of 81 is 9. So this will simply give us plus or minus 1 all over 9. Next, we are going to transfer negative 1 over 9 at the left hand side to the right hand side. This will be equal to 1 over 9 plus or minus 1 over 9. At this level, since we cannot be working with plus and minus at the same time, we are going to say either x is equal to 1 over 9 plus 1 over 9 or x is equal to 1 over 9 minus 1 over 9. Here, x will simply be equal to, the denominators are the same. This will give us 2 over 9, or Here, this will give us 1 over 9 minus 1 over 9, which is 0. So these are the two values of x. We go now to question D. For question D, we have 4x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. First thing, we are going to transfer the constant term negative 9 to the right hand side. This will give us 4x squared to be equal to 9. Next step, we are going to make the coefficient of x squared to be 1 by dividing both sides by 4. This will give us 4x squared divided by 4 is equal to 9 divided by 4. 4 will cancel 4. Simply obtain x squared to be equal to 9 all over 4. Next step, we are going to add we have the coefficient of x all that squared at the left hand side and at the right hand side. Looking at this, you will see that we have no term in x. So it simply means the coefficient of x is 0. If you take 0 times x, it is 0. That means we are going to add a half of 0. A half of 0 is simply 0. And 0 squared remains 0. So if you add 0 at the left hand side and you add 0 at the right hand side, nothing changes. They remain the same. Next step, we are going to take square roots at the left hand side and at the right hand side. This will give us x is equal to plus or minus. The plus or minus will be here. You know the square root of 9 over 4 is the size of the square root of 9 over the square root of 4. So this will give us plus or minus 3 over 2. And at this level, we're going to conclude then x will be equal to 3 over 2 or x is equal to negative 3 over 2. So these are the two values. And we are done with the correction of the examples. If in case you have any worries, make sure you leave your questions at the comment section. If you like the video, you share, and please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Thank you very much for watching.